Hi everyone, today we're diving into Outbrk, a storm chasing simulator, and honestly, this is something I've been waiting for a long time. So if you've been following the channel, you should already know that I love games that simulate real world environments. I'm all about that immersion, so it's not just chasing action, but feeling like I'm part of the world. And Outbrk is built around that exact concept. Well, in my opinion. From the tension in the skies to the subtle shifts in wind and light, it doesn't just throw tornadoes at you, it builds an atmosphere and you feel it in game. But before we dive into the simulation details, mechanics, and what it's actually like to play this game, let's take a moment to hear how the developers themselves describe it. So Outbrk is a storm chasing simulation game being developed for PC set in a fictive reproduction of America's Tornado Alley. Experience the wonders of nature and compete against other chasers as you put yourself into random scenarios based on real-life weather events. Prepare to have too close for comfort encounters with tornadoes, fight your way through torrential downpours while avoiding the hazards of extreme weather. Take the role of a professional storm chaser and make use of your risk management skills to gather valuable data from the severe weather. Become the chaser you've always wanted to be by buying vehicles, upgrading them and customizing them. Outbrk features a 625 square kilometer map with various landmarks such as rivers, canyons, plains, towns and forests. So tighten your seatbelt and get ready for Outbrk, the multiplayer storm chasing experience. Just a quick disclaimer before I get into the details of everything. Most of the information I have found was from other people's streams and from the Discord channel. So if there's any dev that watches this and I did get something wrong, let me know in the comment section and I'll be sure to correct it in the description. So what makes Outbrk such a unique experience? Well, it's all about the weather simulation and their incredibly impressive cloud technology. So let's break that down. Storms are simulated using real archived weather data. Each scenario in the game is modeled after an actual severe weather event from the past. This isn't just artistic guesswork, they've grounded it in science. The game simulates the full storm lifecycle, and each storm behaves uniquely and realistically. Different storm modes, structures, and motions all mirror real atmospheric behavior. And the sky is absolutely next level. From how storms move to how clouds form and evolve, it's all based on scientific modeling. It's not just visuals. Immersion and authenticity are clearly top priorities here, and I can actually talk to that as I've been on the Discord for a while, and a lot of people come up with silly arcadey ideas, and the devs explicitly state that it doesn't fit with their model of realism. So I respect that, and I like that a lot. The devs even mentioned they rent high-performance computing power, jokingly calling it a supercomputer, to crunch real-world data and convert it into something the game engine can actually use. So I found that really cool. It's not just about what you see either. The soundscape is incredibly well crafted. Wind intensifies as the storm approaches, thunder rolls in the distance and grows louder as it gets closer. It creates this creeping sense of atmosphere that really draws you in. Visually, the skies and lighting are just amazing. The cloud structure, the shifting light, the way the storm wraps around the horizon, it genuinely makes you feel like you're either inside the chaos or watching it from afar. One thing to note, other visual elements like terrain, props, characters and vehicles, they're not really quite on that level, which is understandable. I think the devs are really focusing on the atmosphere and the immersion level. But it is early access, so it's totally fair to expect improvements over time, and we'll actually touch on this a bit later in the video. One thing that stood out to me was the grass and the trees, as well as some additional particle effects, did a great job in visualizing wind flow. I was quite blown away pun intended, when I saw high inflow winds pulling across a meadow, bending the grass blades and the trees ahead of a mesocyclone. It was like the environment itself was telling me what was happening. This was absolutely stunning. The map is a decent size also at around 625 square kilometers. It consists of various biomes, some small towns and so on. It definitely needs some polish though, because I did see some floating buildings, but again it's early access, so just putting that disclaimer in bold. And yes, the buildings and trees are actually destructible, which I love. It adds a real danger to the chase. Sometimes your exit route is suddenly blocked by debris, and honestly I think it's a brilliant mechanic. I'd love to see the devs expand on this, like having more debris, telephone poles downed across the road, damaged vehicles. It really would emphasize the risk and unpredictability of storm chasing. And it's not just the environment that's reacting, your tools do as well. You'll see the storm's position and strength reflected across your radar, weather station readings, dewpoint temperatures, and many more. It all adds up to one of the most dynamic and immersive weather systems I've ever experienced in a game. So let's get into how Outbrk actually plays, and why it's more than just chasing tornadoes. This is a multiplayer game with a solo chase option, which is perfect if you want to go lone wolf or team up with friends for coordinated chaos. You can customize your character, pick your outfit and build your vehicle with a range of upgrades. So yeah, there's a store system where you can buy vehicles, gear and tweak your setup whichever way you'd like. And I'm sure the devs will be expanding on this in the future. So how does the scenario work? Well, you're dropped into what we call a weather scenario, solo or in multiplayer. And the first thing you normally do is you open up your map. Well, I think you actually start with your map open. Sometimes there's something obvious happening, but other times nothing, just a quiet sky. So just like in real life, you gotta wait and let the storm cook, which I find really cool. Eventually radar data, dew points, wind direction and other real world indicators will start to populate. From there, your job is to predict where the storm might form, get in position and document the storm. This means taking photos, deploying probes and filing reports. But here's the thing. It isn't just some arcade storm chase. You need to plan your approach. Driving through the storm core, which chasers normally call core punching, can shatter your windshield and that'll cost you. Get too close to a tornado and it's game over, literally. You lose all your progress in that scenario if you die. At the end, you scored on how well you documented the storm, photos, data, reports, and obviously damage if you've acquired any. It all counts. So I'll be showing you an actual chase later in this video, so you can see all the action, but just so that you know, I'm turning this into a full series. So yeah, consider this your introduction as well as an unofficial review. Now, how do I play games like this? A bit differently, as usual. I'm not here to memorize the scenarios or grind for points. I sit back, watch the storm unfold, and enjoy the ride. Maybe take some cinematic shots here and there. What I love most about Outbrk though, is that it's made me want to learn. It's got me researching actual meteorology. I ended up falling down a rabbit hole on nowcasting, which is basically short-term storm forecasting done in real time using live environmental data. Nowcasting typically uses dew points, ML cape, which is a fancy word for storm fuel, reflectivity and velocity on the radar, wind shear at different altitudes. There's actually quite a few indicators. But it's real science, and if you learn how it works, you'll actually get better at the game. So I'll save the deep dive for another video. But yeah, if a game can actually make you want to understand how real life storms actually work, that's something special. So while I was doing my usual R&D, also known as scrolling through way too many forums and videos and Discord chats at 2 AM, I came across some interesting developer comments about Outbrk. Now keep in mind, this stuff is subject to change since the game is still in active development, but I figured it was worth highlighting a few key things that developers have shared. Quote, "We are well aware of the FPS issue with our new cloud technology and we are working on it." End quote. This is good to hear because, I mean, those clouds definitely look incredible, but I have also had performance issues when I started playing. Now my specs for my computer are down in the description if you're interested. Quote, "We released the game with the fantastic graphics preset by default, which really hurt first impressions." End quote. So respect for them calling themselves out here. I mean, they just straight up said, yeah, that was a bad idea. So yeah, respect for them calling that out. Quote, "We use settings like cloud downsampling to help performance, but most players don't know what this is." End quote. So this is a good point, especially now in this version with the performance issues. There's a setting called cloud downsampling in the options, and I've set that up 1 tick, as well as I set my cloud step size to 20, and that has helped me quite a bit with performance, and obviously you can scale that as you please for performance. Quote, "Our cloud system is a completely custom rendering engine, never before done in any game." End quote. Well, honestly, this shows the skies in this game is the real main character. You can really tell they're proud of it, and rightfully so. So what really stands out here is how transparent the devs are. I mean, they've also said up front there will be cosmetic only microtransactions in the future, and honestly, I'm completely cool with that. As long as it doesn't give players an advantage and it's cosmetic only, I am in full support of this. I have no objections. As for the upcoming update, it sounds like a big one. They're planning major performance improvements, a ton of visual upgrades, new vehicles, bug fixes, including that weird blue outline on some props, especially on trees. They've already gone into a lot of detail in their dev post, and I'll link it down below if you want to check it out. But I probably would do a in-depth video on the update once it drops.
Great, and here we are in game. Man, I've been itching to actually play the game again. I've been doing a lot of cinematic recordings and just getting footage for the video, but I'm actually gonna play now and I'm getting excited. Okay, so under settings, let me show you 2 important settings. Cloud downsampling, I have it 0.1. I would sometimes bump it to 0.2 if I need more performance, especially when I'm recording. I normally run cloud step size at 20, but I have it 25 in this case. A lot of people use DLSS or FSR. It does make the image a little bit blurry, especially like small, thin textures or props like telephone lines and the grass blades. So I'm gonna leave that off for this video. Maybe they'll improve on that a bit later in future updates. Let's go over the garage. Now I have done a few upgrades, not much at all. I haven't played, well, let me put it this way, I haven't had much successful chases at all. Initially when I got the game, me and my brother were playing a few rounds and we were getting alright points, and I spent most of it on cosmetic items. The most significant things I spent my money on is probably the Mesonet, which is this mobile weather station on top of the vehicle. Gives you wind direction and speed, I believe. And then I've also purchased the laptop in the vehicle. And maybe 1 or 2 cosmetic items. Definitely a few cosmetic items for my character. But there's a lot of options you have here to customize your dude and your vehicle. I'm thinking of, a lot of people just rush to get the Dominator, and that's not the type of gameplay I'm gonna be providing. I will not be rushing to get the Dominator. I want to take it slow and experience the game. I guess I just want to progress, take my time progressing in the game, right? So I'm either gonna get the Hammerhead or the Altitude as my next vehicle. I mean, maybe even the Solstice, I don't know. Solstice, Hammerhead. I guess the most reasonable choice for me would be to get the Altitude, but we'll see when we get there. Let's see if we can find a quick chase. Nice, we're loading in. And we are in. Right off the bat, we can see we have a severe warned area. Got a little bit of rotation. Now, I am by no means an expert. And another thing I'd like to note is I do not intend to memorize the scenarios. That's not my goal at all. So I explicitly don't pay any attention or try to memorize a scenario I've done. A lot of players do this, so they will more or less know exactly what's going to happen. But there's so much scenarios that's in the game right now. There's tons of them. I couldn't find an exact number, but it's becoming increasingly difficult for you to predict what the storm is going to do or what scenario is being played. So that is helping the fact that people are. It's preventing them from memorizing as much of them. And even if you do memorize the scenario, you might remember where the first tornado lands, but you won't remember subsequent ones or any other details. Anyway, let me do some investigation here. I don't know much again, so I'm just gonna go off what little experience I do have. Strange, Cape is looking okay, but it's not amazing. You can see the storm is eating up some of the Cape over here. Surface winds. I mean, we got a little bit of shear happening. And in velocity we have some rotation in this area. Maybe a bit of the storm seems to be very messy. I can't get a good structure onto. I can't see exactly what's going on. I don't see a really well defined structure. So what I will be doing is I think I'll make my way to this road over here. Yeah, and then we'll just give the storm some chance to cook. And I think the other player has already left. Is he still in game? Oh no, okay, I'm alone. Strange, it said it was sinking 4 players, but apparently they are out. Maybe he didn't like the scenario. Who knows? I actually like the vehicle's physics as well. The handling is a bit odd, but one good thing is that things like the suspension it's actually okay. Like if I play a game where you drive in, I always look at the vehicle suspension. I don't know why. Like if the vehicle suspension feels unrealistic or weird or like extremely stiff, really takes away from the immersion for me. I don't know. I really enjoy the games that focus on having realistic physics. Okay, let me just get orientated a little bit better here. Okay, I'm gonna hit the T-junction, turn left and go up that dirt road. Well, I can't get over this game's sound. I think the wipers could be a bit louder, and the vehicle sounds a bit more dynamic. Oh, we got tornado warning. We got tornado warning. But it is early access, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. Let's see what we got outside. I'm going to turn the engine off, actually, save some fuel. Let's see what we got going. Okay, so we got a tornado warning. Velocity, I can see we have rotation that way. Okay, this is what, southwest-ish. Oh, I got a funnel. I can see the funnel right there. So we're going to take a photo of this. It actually says it's a tornado, not a funnel. I'll report it. Wow, look at that. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get closer. I don't know if we'll be able to intercept this one. Probably not. Let's see how close I can get to it. The problem is it's coming down this road. Or yeah, it's moving northeasterly, and this road goes northeasterly, so I can get myself into some trouble here by trying to intercept this. Let's see if we can. Yeah, it seems to be moving kind of towards me, so I'm gonna put my probe down. This is always the most intense time in the chase, is when you're putting your probe down, and I'm gonna get out of here and we'll observe it from afar. Look at that. That is awesome. That is awesome. Oh, lightning strike right in front of us. Big lightning. Big lightning. My probe isn't picking up much, so I think that was a fail. You see, even though I'm saying I'm gonna play more risky, I was still trying to be safe. Because if you die, you lose everything you've got in that scenario. Take another photo of it. And oh, big hail as well. Big hail. Oh my word, big hail. Okay. Get in the car. Okay, what is it doing? It seems to be occluding, which I think is the correct term. Now we only really have this rotation, yeah. It might recycle, so I'm gonna try to get ahead of it. See if I can make my way to that road right there. It's a shame that this storm doesn't have much structure to it. Let's have a look again at reflectivity. Yeah, it's difficult to identify the meso, which is probably over here. But I've been doing a lot of reading and watching a lot of videos on how storms actually work. You know, what goes into making a mesocyclone. And how does that end up, you know, what conditions need to be met in order for a tornado to form. So I've been watching a lot of videos on that, and I was hoping I could point out some aspects, but we don't have much structure. So okay, we got an extension to the severe warning, and we still have a bit of rotation over here. So I'm going to make my way to my marker, and we will observe the storm, see if it produces anything. Now this map is really big actually, and fuel management becomes a problem. There was one or two occasions where I did run out of fuel, so that does happen, and then you have to tow, which costs you money, and it's not something you really want to do. Now when you're playing with a bunch of players, the convergence, I think they call it chaser convergence, there's a lot of terminology I'm learning about, is quite hectic. So you'll have a bunch of chasers converging on a cell or a tornado and observing it, which I think is very, very cool. But a lot of them aren't very courteous. You know, they'll park in the road, they'll bump you off the road. But for the most part, I'd say a lot of people are very respectful, or most people are very respectful. They pull it off, or they pull off the road. They turn on their lights so that you can see them more easily. And I think that's pretty cool. Let's see what's going on with the storm. Yeah, the mezzo might cross right on top of us. Still don't really have much structure that I can speak of. I guess you could say this might be an inflow right here. Rear flank downdraft over here. Potentially. Yeah, I can't really say. Check our next scan. Velocity is really increased here. We got a nice little bulge, which is just to my southwest. I need to see what options. So if it forms, I can use this road to get ahead of it. I would guess, right? Let's see. I mean, it might literally cross around here. Yeah, I'd say so. Oh, man, the sounds in this game are amazing. Really, really cool. I really don't mind waiting for the storm to do its thing. It gives me a chance to do some cinematic shots and appreciate the soundscape and the visuals. Sometimes my casual nature does interfere with the chasing element, and I do end up losing a lot of intercepts that I could have easily have gotten. But again, I am not going to min-max this. I'm not going to probe spam, which I think they stopped anyway. I am not going to memorize scenarios. I'm not going to rush to the Dominator. There's no point in doing that, right? So I'm going to take it easy, let the game develop, learn the systems, and enjoy the soundscape visuals, and just get immersed completely. Now let's see what's going on here. Right. I think our initial prediction will be correct. I'm going to make my way to this point of the road over here. We're going to see if we can do an intercept. I am then going to leave to this fuel station over here and get fuel, if it's not too risky. So let's get that started. I don't think there's anything I can report right now. Yeah, that rotation is getting tighter. But I don't know, it looks like I have something to my west as well, which could also be a potential tornado. Okay, let's get it right on this hill. Alright. Look at that rain shaft there, man. That looks so sick. Wow, okay. Let's see what we got going. Now you see, because the radar is over here, I'm not going to go into much depth here, I'm just going to briefly mention it. Because the radar is located over here, the green, yeah, you can see from -30 to 0 is winds moving towards the radar, I think. And then from 0 to 30, positive, is winds moving away from the radar, and obviously if the wind's crossing the radar would create like this line. I'm sure there's a technical term for it. So I don't know if that is because it's crossing the radar or if there's actually a developing tornado over there, but this rotation over here definitely seems like it's going to produce something. Again, we don't have much, like here's a little bit of a clear slot. This could be the inflow for the storm, providing it with some warm moist air. What is dew points, by the way, over here? This is in Celsius, so I need to figure out. I think the top one is temperature, bottom one is dew point. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think 17 is okay for a dew point for a storm. I'll have to figure that out. Let's see what we got. I don't really have much going on. We still have the rotation. But it's really hard to see because of the rain. I think in this case, chasing storms from their southern edge would be better for visuals because you kind of get that clear slot. But yeah, let's just give it some chance to develop and we see if it produces another tornado for us. Okay, it looks like we are getting a bit of hail. I'm going to get in my vehicle. Still some rotation there. We are pretty much in one of the cores of the storm. That's why we're getting all this hail. Oh, and we have a tornado. Tornado warning. Okay, great. Let's make our way over there. That's probably going to be our best and most safe intercept. Escape to the south, get fuel over there. Let's do it. Got really bright reds on that velocity, which should indicate very high wind speed. Looks like we are getting a more defined storm structure over here. You see that slot to the right? I believe that would be the clear slot I was talking about before. And that's where we will have inflow of warm moist air fueling the tornado. I think. Makes sense. Well, that doesn't make sense in this case because, well, yeah, it's in front of the tornado, right? It's anti-clockwise in the northern hemisphere. So yeah, that is definitely then the clear slot. So we are in a good position to observe this tornado, but I might take this dirt road to the right, which might end badly, but I don't want the tornado to occlude too early before I can get it. Oh, there we go. It's in front of us. Nice. Okay, awesome. Yeah, and with this northeasterly moving storm, we are in the perfect spot to observe it. So we are in the inflow of the storm. Let's see if I can get a photo. Oh yeah. And we will report it. I can't really predict where it's gonna go. It's likely gonna cross over there if it makes it that far. If it makes it that far. How's Cape looking? Pretty average, I'd say. Yeah, you can see the storm just eating up all the Cape over here. Wow, look at that thing. Okay, I'm gonna make my way. Where is it going? Yeah, I'm gonna make my way to my marker. I think that's gonna give us the best chance of intercepting this guy, getting a probe down. And then we need to think about fuel. And you know, I never thought about this before, but all the information I've been getting regarding storm chasing, you know, you can only tell so much from radar. And I mean, the technology is great, and we have AI involved these days, and a lot of people working at weather stations. So when they see the signs of a developing supercell or mesocyclone and the potential for a tornado, you know, they will mark it as tornado warned. But a lot of them actually rely on the chasers. So you know that reporting function I use in the vehicle, or not in the vehicle, when I use on my phone to report the tornado. Chasers would actually do the same in real life. They'd report tornado on the ground, and that gives the weather service a better, more accurate representation of what's going on, so that they can relay that to residents in the area and give out more accurate reports. So that is pretty cool and makes a lot of sense. Now this might be potentially dangerous. Wow, is that really that small right now? Wow, it's like, it's super tiny. It is moving to our left. I don't know if this is gonna survive. It's really small right now, but I might still try to get a probe on it. Looks like it is dissipating. Come on, man, just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. Okay, I'm gonna do one more position change, and then I'm gonna deploy my probe and fall back. Right, yeah. And there it occludes. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, it's gone. It is gone. What are the chances we get another one, eh? Oh, we do actually have another one. We have another meso and tornado at Fort City. We can definitely look at intercepting that. But we gotta hurry. Okay, I'm gonna try to intercept that one. I'll bring you guys back when I'm close. You know, I'm looking at the cell we had on top here. I mean, it could produce again, but I can't be 100% certain on that. My best bet is to go for this cell to the southwest, and I will definitely need to get fuel. I might even have to freewheel it to make it to the gas station. I'm actually gonna turn off the engine here on this downhill, save some fuel. Man, I really hope we got an extension on the tornado warning. I really hope I can catch it in time. It's going to be tight with getting the gas and then trying to intercept it on this road. Wow, fuel is really low. I'm running on fumes at this point. Got a nice low base in front here. Here's the gas station, we've made it. Yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go. Should be good on fuel. Let's see if we can catch it. That's a beautiful tornado, man. Wow. I think we're actually good to catch it over here. Nice photo. Oop, report it out. It is moving slightly north. Really hoping we can get the intercept on this. Yeah, it still seems to be going north. Looks like we are in a good spot. And it seems to be growing in strength. Or maybe it's just because it's getting closer. This might be a really good intercept. Look at this. Wow. No! Oh, you can't be serious, man. Oh man, it's dissipating. It is dissipating. It's still throwing some trees at the bottom there. But for the most part, it is gone. Oh, that sucks, man. It's one of those things, though. It happens. It happens. I mean, it could recycle. Cape is not looking too great. But if the chase does not end, our best bet would probably be to get to that spot in case it does recycle. So let's do that. And that wind speed you see in the bottom right, that is, it gives you the wind speed and then the direction. So north-northeast, 11 kilometers per hour. That is from the piece of hardware I attached on top, the mesonet. We still have strong rotation. I'm really hoping it recycles. Got some low bases here as well, eh? Some of those clouds reaching down. You know, we actually have some rotation forming at the bottom as well. This is a really interesting storm. We got a few trading supercells. Let's take a back seat and observe this for a second. Looks like we do have more cape at the bottom. This storm might be the better option. We've got such high rotation over here. But I mean, that's not bad either. How's dew points looking? Yeah, you see the dew point here are all the same, essentially. This is a tough one. I mean, that mezzo is right on top of us. Right on top of us. If we have a tornado forming, it's gonna drop right here. Yeah, we gotta make a call. Instinct is telling me I should stick with this cell, with this mesocyclone, and try to intercept it here to see if it forms. But I like this. As well. I mean, yeah, we have a very... I think this would be inflow, and then we would kind of have a hook over here. RFD. Got some cape. I honestly don't know what to do. I like this a lot. We'll be getting some serious rotation in the storm as well. Okay, so I think this is going to produce. Probably will. But I'm going to stick with this storm for now. I might just want to get into a better position. Because if something drops, it's going to be right on top of me. So, I need to move. I'll do one last observation when I get to the T-junction, and we'll determine which storm we want to chase. Look at those winds. That's all inflow winds right there. That's a strong inflow. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the storm for now. If you look at the map, reflectivity, you can see we're kind of in the inflow of the storm, kind of, let's say. Oh, the wind's dropped now a bit. I think I'm gonna hang out here for a second and just see what develops. Yeah, you see the storm here at Bridgetown has lost a lot of its rotation. And this storm is keeping a lot of its rotation. And we're getting hail. We are on the outer bands of a hail core over there. I think it makes a lot of sense for me to get in position at my marker. If something had to form, it would probably be in this area. Right over here. Possibly. But let's get in position and we'll take it from there. Oh, well, look at that. Look at that. We got a funnel. We have a funnel. Oh, that's so cool. I get I get so excited. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Okay, brilliant. I wasn't too far off with my prediction. Let's get ahead of it and see if we can finally get an intercept going. Get on the road, let's go. Look at that. Wow. It's moving. It is not slow at all. And it's literally coming directly at me. So probe is going down. It's not a particularly large tornado, but it'll do. Get out of its way. Oh man, please don't dissipate. Come on. Oh man, it's gonna dissipate. What are the chances? Is that thing coming directly towards me? That seems to be the case. It's really weak though. Like really weak. I still think I should get out the way. Let's start. Let's go. Oh man, that's probably why that guy left, because he recognized the scenario and he's like, yeah, this one sucks. But I enjoy the aspects of chasing the storms. I'm not too concerned about getting points. I actually enjoy it quite a bit. Look at those inflow winds. We're out 42 kilometers per hour. I think we should move. It's getting really rain wrapped. I can't see where it is. I need to back up. I need to back up. Yeah, now I can't see it at all. Wind speed is okay, it's picking up now again. Wind speed is picking up quite a bit. Still picking up. This is difficult. I can't see it at all. Man, winds are really picking up. I need to get out of here. I have no idea where this thing is. .61 kilometer per hour winds. Wow. That's scary, man. Holy shit. We missed the intercept with the probe, but our winds are still picking up. The most scary part is that you can't see it. Dude, the winds are still increasing. What is going on? Oh, there they go. They're going down now. What the hell? Okay, I think it moved across. I think it's to our right now. That was insane. That was insane, man. Okay, let's go get our probe and see if we continue chasing the storm. Dude, that was crazy. And that was a small tornado. I mean, I don't know what the max speed of those winds being, but it was not that much. Okay, we still got the tornado tracking. Okay. Let's see if we can get an intercept. That's not my first close call in this game. I've had a few of them. And I don't know if I've mentioned it. Well, I've definitely mentioned it before in other videos. But I hate dying in games. Like, I hate it. It completely ruins my immersion. It's like, I can't really explain it. I hate dying in video games. It's that simple. It annoys the hell out of me. And that's the worst when games support this. Like they make you spawn right next to your backpack, or you don't lose any progression if you die. This game's awesome because you lose literally all of the progression in that scenario when you die, which makes people a little bit more cautious and play a little bit more respectfully, I'd say. Wow, look at that tornado. Pretty cool. I think that dirt road is going to definitely be pushing it. I said I would play a little bit more risky, so I am going to try and at least get something from this tornado. Even if I can just probe the outer wind field of it. Where is it? Where is it? What? Where did it go? Oh, it's still there. As long as I can keep taking photos and reporting it, I should still be getting some cash. Okay, it's gonna move over right in front of us. Wind speeds are still alright. I'm gonna probe right here. This is really weak. It might even dissipate. Oh, there it's going right in front of us. It's really weak, man. It's a really weak tornado. Now the winds are picking up a little bit. Probably not gonna have much luck with this intercept. Right in front of us. Okay, not much at all. Okay, we've got one more potential intercept path. and maybe it either it lasts long enough or it grows in strength. But this is going to be our last intercept. I don't have enough fuel. I'm not going to add more fuel, otherwise my profit is going to be reduced. Can't recall, maybe I should have taken more photos. I completely forgot about that. It's still there. When making the cinematics, I came across an absolute massive, and I mean massive, tornado. And that was really fun to see. Oh man, it's right there. It's actually picked up strength a little bit. Oh my gosh, this might be dumb. This might be dumb. This might be dumb. Stop the car. Okay, it's... yeah, there's no way. Is there a way? I'm gonna put my probe down. See if I can get something from this. It seems to be really weak. Get back. Get back, get back, get back, get back. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna get much from this at all. Yeah, probably not gonna get much at all. This is really weak tornado, man. Also, my probe deployment skills are quite questionable. I really just should have risked it. Well, I'm gonna get in my car. It's crossing the road. It is what it is. I mean, we might try one final intercept over there, maybe. But I don't know if it's gonna survive that long. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of fuel, because this will definitely be my last intercept, and I'll try not to drive off the road. And we'll see if we can get it. Should have been more risky, man. Should have been more risky. Okay, that's gonna be enough. That's gonna be enough. Let's go. Still tornado warned. The intercept would probably be up there. Ish, maybe a bit before that. I don't even know if it's still there. Velocity seems to be non-existent. Wow. This could be another dud. Yeah, this is so weak, man. Look at this. It seems to be coming straight towards me, maybe a bit to the back. But I'm gonna wait till the last second before I deploy on this thing. Oh, now it's moving more that way. Oh my gosh, dude. This tornado is very squirmy. Oh, and it's going away. It's going away. That sucks. That sucks. And it's gone. Man. That sucks. It's kinda still on the ground. Yeah, but it's gonna dissipate. Not worth getting any data from that. Alright, that was still cool. And you still enjoyed that chase, very much so. Very much so. Got some cool pictures. Did some reports. Potentially made some money off of that. But there's always next time. So I'm gonna make my way to gas station and end the chase. And there we have it. 6,319 coins, tornado coins, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, that's not too terrible for just photos and reports. But yeah, that's it. It wasn't the best chase, wasn't my best work. Didn't take as much risks as I should have, probably. But also the conditions weren't that favorable for really big, strong tornadoes. Cape wasn't that high in most parts, and the structures of the storm were kind of all over the place, and I think they were kind of cancelling each other out, if I can call it that. That's just my assumption at this point. But yeah, that was an awesome chase. Nonetheless, I still enjoy it. But you can't have all scenarios churning out large tornadoes. So this was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. And there you have Outbrk, Storm Chasing Simulator. We'll definitely be doing a series on this. Expect more videos, maybe some more cinematic shots. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thanks for stopping by and giving it a watch if you've made it this far. I am a new channel, just starting out, so yeah, if you've watched it this far, awesome. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.